señorita. I didn't reach ya, but everything says la la la, ooh la la la. For those of you who are following my previous videos, I have talked about my neck injury and how I've been suffering with neck pain, debilitating neck pain, and limitations for going on 7 years now. And today I just want to talk a little bit about how I finally got the diagnosis of cervical spine instability and how I got to find out about the proper treatment that I needed, because it took me a long time to get into the right hands. First of all, I am a physical therapist, and I injured my neck back in 2013, and doctors basically had no idea what was wrong with me. They said it was a sprain or strain and that I should be fine by now, but I worked for another year until my neck started freezing on me. Like, basically my vertebrae were catching and they would just like lock down. My muscles would lock down and I would get stuck in whatever direction my neck decided to get stuck in when I would turn my head, when I would least expect it. And it was extremely excruciating pain, and there was nothing I could do. I couldn't move, I couldn't come out of it. Nothing would relax it. Pain meds didn't really help. Heat didn't really help. I mean, it helped a tiny bit, but really it would take like 3 to 4 days to calm down on its own until it would relax and the muscles would loosen up, and then I could slowly get my range of motion back. So I went to physical therapy on and off for a few years. I made progress, but I never fully recovered, and I never returned to my normal previous level of function because I was lacking the necessary ligamentous support that our joints require in order to function properly. I continue to do research knowing that there had to be more answers beyond physical therapy, and that I could not just accept that this was in my head or that nothing was wrong just because doctors didn't understand what was going on. So I stopped going to doctors. I got really emotionally and physically tired of going to physical therapy and starting over every time I would start at square one. It was taking a lot of time and energy and money, and I just knew that there was something that it wasn't addressing, and that was my ligaments. So my husband actually did research, and he found that there was a DMX machine, which is a digital motion x-ray, and that digital motion x-ray is the gold standard to diagnose cervical instability because it looks at real-time motion and looks at what is going on in the joints when you move, because when you lay down flat, as in an MRI machine or an x-ray, everything looks fine. They all come out negative because everything's aligned and nothing is moving. So it was unable to detect the instability. As a physical therapist, I couldn't understand why my muscles were so weak, and if this is the only problem, why they weren't working properly. But come to find out, it all makes sense now. My body could not rely solely on those muscles. They were not strong enough. I needed my ligaments. And I finally got the DMX report, and it showed objectively for the first time ever the amount. And they're very hard to find, these machines. First of all, there's I think one in LA, and there's one in that Dr. Hauser uses. Those are the only two that I know of. I'm sure there might be others, but they're very hard to find. Once I finally realized the degree of damage to my ligaments, I started looking up research and wanted to know what can I do for my ligaments if they are damaged and need repairing. And for the longest time, I thought it was either surgery, which is obviously invasive and risky and no guarantee, especially if you're hypermobile like me. Surgery oftentimes fails in people that have hypermobility, or it essentially it blows out the joint either above or below, because now you have to compensate, and you already have loose ligaments to begin with, and now they're overworking and they easily become overstretched, causing more problems. My train of thought then was, it's either surgery or I continue to live like this to the best of my ability, and I'm just limited, and I have to accept that, and I'll never be able to use my arms or my body, and I just have to survive each day. But mentally that was very hard for me to accept, because I come from a very disadvantaged background, and I love making progress. I love personal development. I love helping people, and having my health taken away, it didn't feel like the right option. Like, I just didn't feel like I could be satisfied living the rest of my life, which I have quite a few years left, with no ability to enjoy all of the things I want to do with my life. So after 6 years of debilitating pain and less of a social life, because even going out to dinner would end up putting me past my limitation, and I would end up locking because my neck couldn't even stand gravity anymore, more than 4 hours. So then I finally invested in a few neck braces. This, I'm missing the back because I wore it recently. This one gave me the most support and was the most comfortable. I can link it if anybody's interested down below. Just comment. So I ended up wearing this pretty much all the time when I was in the house, but I refused to wear it in public because I was embarrassed. I didn't want any extra negative attention. And most of the times I would just walk around and put on a smile and just act like my life was normal, when really I was suffering tremendously and I had no answers. So I continued to research, and 2 years ago I found Dr. Hauser. He is located in Florida. I'm in California. So at the time, that did not seem like it was an option, because I have 2 small babies who rely very heavily on me to breastfeed and for their comfort. And so I just felt guilty, and I avoided the possibility of me going to see him, even though I knew that he was the doctor that I needed to see. He's the one that has produced research and that I was able to come across to find the prolotherapy as a solution to tighten the ligaments. So I remember before I came across his research, I was thinking like, gosh, medical has come so far, yet I have this problem that I can find no information on, and that there's no treatment. Like, I just have to live like this. This makes no sense to me. So after coming across Dr. Hauser and reading his research on the evidence of how prolotherapy works to tighten ligaments, it was like a no-brainer to me that this was the next step. If I tried conservative therapy for years and it wasn't working, I needed to do the next thing, and surgery really was like the last resort. Like, if I didn't get to choose and I was in an accident and it was non-elective, then I would get the surgery. But as long as I had a choice, I was not going to choose to get surgery. I was going to choose to just live in my debilitating pain with my limited body. But then I found Dr. Hauser's research, and it was very promising. And because I couldn't go there, I ended up looking for doctors here in LA. I have had 3 treatments done locally here in LA, and they did help. I no longer have to wear my neck brace, but I still have pain. I have pain right now, but I no longer have it constantly down the arms. I had severe symptoms. You can go back and look at a previous video when I talked about my symptoms and stuff like that. But so I did have 3 treatments, and then I ended up having a little falling out with the doctor because he didn't like me questioning him and his book, because I had so many questions. Like, I've been living like this for so long, I just wanted answers. Like, I finally have this objective test that shows my problem. Like, I wanted to know the inclusion criteria for prolotherapy. I wanted to know, like, his thoughts on if he's seen patients like me before, and if this was the right, if it was a promising treatment in his opinion, what my prognosis was. And he didn't like any of my questions, because he looked at me and he said my symptoms don't make sense, that this is not from instability, and that my objective information at this point that I've been searching for and doctors have been asking for the last however many 5-6 years at this point, he threw out the door and said that actual gold standard measurement that's objective proving my instability doesn't matter, and that I am atypical and none of my symptoms make sense. But if I would like, he would inject me. Of course I would like. I'm here I have my husband and sister with me. I had to hire a babysitter, get a driver. I have my whole entourage here to support me. I'm here to get the treatment. I wish that my questions could have been answered. Long story short, every single time I came back, he got more and more aggressive as far as kind of pushing me away. The second time I went, he said, I was in a different ship. He's not here to answer my questions, that he can give me the treatment. If I was here to get the treatment, then he would inject me and that was it. The third time I went, I don't know why I even went back the third time, but the third time I went, I was on the table, and in the middle of my procedure, he heard somebody outside. Apparently it was one of his friends that walked into the office, and he walked out of the room, leaving the door open, me exposed, me on the table, and he did not say, excuse me, hold on. He did not say anything. So I asked the assistant, is there still more solution left? Is he still injecting me? Am I done? What's going on? And the assistant said, I don't know. This is really weird. I don't know what's going on right now. So I felt very vulnerable, and that's kind of why I didn't keep going back to that doctor anymore. And but I did benefit from those treatments, and I know I need more. So I have very exciting news. The person I wanted to see from the beginning, the person who's giving me all of my answers, the person who can validate every single one of my symptoms, Dr. Hauser, who's in Florida, I now am going to see next month. My mother-in-law is going to come watch the kids. My husband got the day off. I have the appointment booked, and we are going to book the flights next. This all just happened today, so I'm extremely excited. I know that this is what I need, and I do believe that I could make a pretty good recovery. And once I talk to Dr. Hauser himself, I will have a better idea on my prognosis, how many more treatments I'll need, and so that's where I'm at. And I'm really excited for this 2020 to start out that strong for me. That means a lot. To start January, I get to go see him, and I just feel like the possibilities of my life will be endless if I get my health back. My mind has been trapped in this body for so many years, and it has so many ideas and so many dreams, and I just can't wait to see what becomes of my life once I get my health back. And I really hope that I can contribute to other people who are suffering, because that is my mission. That is my passion. I'm a physical therapist. That's what I went to school for. And I just want to educate everybody on getting the proper diagnosis for instability and getting the proper treatment for instability. And I want to encourage anyone who is suffering just to hang in there. And I know how difficult it can be. I know the roller coaster of the ups and the downs, of hope, of no hope. And I just think the more positive you can stay, the better. I'm very grateful that I have, and my strength is in the Lord, and He encourages me, and I'm just so thankful for another day of life. I'm thankful to be able to make these videos, and if you want to follow my journey and watch how my treatments go and see how I recover, go ahead and follow, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified on my next video. If there's anything that you have tried that has worked, go ahead and comment it. If you have neck pain, if you have questions, or if you have any suggestions for topics on the next videos that you would like to see, leave the comments down below and let me know. Wish you guys all the best. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.